Replay. Game of Thrones week continues as we try out this Nazahn Kingslayer deck. Find out who gets stabbed in the back and who doesn't, next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. We are playing some Nazahn Reverend Blacksmith, aka the Kingslayer. Take a look at our opening hand. So I ended up keeping this hand. Because we have Survival of the Fittest and Enlightened Tutor, we can do some stuff with that. Let's play the Misty Rainforest right here. We'll crack at the end step and get an Enlightened Tutor. Actually, we should do it before the Niv Mizzet's turn, now that I'm thinking about it. So let's do it right here. Crack the Misty, get Savannah. Use that, play the Enlightened Tutor. Many artifacts in this deck. Soul Ring is the thing that I'm thinking about. But land tax is also reasonable, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, let's just go for Soul Ring. So this deck, this is a green and white Voltron deck, but because this is House Lannister, I've built some unfair combos into this deck. The first one is that we have half of in our hand already is Helm of Obedience and Rest in Peace. I just threw that in there because that's an easy one to include, but there's some other really interesting interactions that I built in with Nazahn and the equipment and stuff like that, and we'll start seeing some of that as we get going. So that's gonna bring it back to our turn. We draw the Soul Ring, play the Plains, play the Soul Ring, see if Dave nope, Dave does not counter. And then we'll play the Survival of the Fittest. And we will pass like that. I am joined by 3 Patreon supporters today. First up, we have Chaotix2075 piloting Wort the Raid Mother. Wort creates 2 tokens when it comes into play and gives each red and green instant sorcery spell you cast Conspire, which you can tap 2 creatures to copy it. Pretty good. It's usually a combo off commander. Based on the times that I've seen Wort the Raid Mother, you get anywhere between 6 and 8 turns before the combo starts to fire, assuming that there's no removal. So yeah, we'll want to be quick about things. We don't want to let them sit around. Now, there isn't a ton of removal in this deck. We have the Swords to Plowshares. We're going to have to hold on to this for the moment that we truly need it. For like I said, this is just a really low removal count deck. And not that that was intentional, but just to get all the things that I wanted to get into this deck, I had to cut cards from somewhere, and the ramp was very necessary, so we cut from the removal. So Dave fires off a Merchant Scroll. What's he getting? He's getting a Frantic Search. Yep, that's a pretty good card. And that'll bring it back to our turn. We draw a Sigarda's Aid. Cool. Dave is tapped out. We don't have a land drop set up. I think I'm gonna go Survival of the Fittest, discard the Leonin. Yeah, and then we'll just get the Burnished Heart. So Burnished Heart, actually one of our combos. The other half of the combo is a Maria Shepherd. Once we get a Maria Shepherd, we can get all of the plains out of our deck and many of the forests. Oh no, opponent's gonna shoot our Survival of the Fittest. Well, at least we got the thing that gets us mana, so as long as that Burnished Heart sticks around, we should be fine. If they shot the Burnished Heart, we'd be in real trouble. So, Frantic Search coming into play for Dave, and, oh, man, I've talked about it so many times. This thing is just, it's a little too good. Loot 2 cards for free? Yeah. Anyway, continuing on our opponents, our second opponent is E4 Grimsley, and they are piloting Kazarov Sengir Pureblood. Interesting little commander. I played it on the channel a while back. It's a little bit slow at 7, and it gets a little bit... Oh, that's a back to basics. Well, we can still crack our Burnished Heart. I think we're okay. So, like I said, being very little removal in this deck, that is kind of a problem for us. Hopefully Wort's running a little bit of artifact and enchantment removal right there. Whew, good thing we got that Burnished Heart. There's a Flooded Strand, that can get us a basic. Play that. Also just happy to make my land drop. So we're going to send both creatures into the Niv Mizzet. Actually, so right here we can crack this, get a land, and then get Thran Dynamo in and use that to crack the Burnished Heart. That seems like a pretty good plan. So Niv Mizzet down to 35. Crack the Flooded Strand. Let's get a Plains. Use the Plains. Get the Thran Dynamo. Crack the Burnished Heart. Let's get one... maybe we should get 2 forests. Yeah, let's get 2 forests with this since we don't have green mana that untaps. Ooh, nice. Word's got an active Volcano for that back to basics, so lands will be untapping. See if Dave has any free counterspells. He does not. Our final opponent, by the way, is Dave, and he's piloting Niv Mizzet Parun, a deck that I faced many times, and this deck runs a lot of counterspells, a lot of wheels, and it's going to play the Curiosity combo and a few cards just like it, and as long as Niv Mizzet's in play, you're always 1 card away from just losing the game, so very, very scary. And that's going to be a Solemn Simulacrum for the Kazarov opponent. Niv Mizzet passes with all their mana open, always scary. We draw into a homeward path, we will play the homeward path. Our commander's probably going to get countered right here, but we should probably try it. Nope, it made it. So the blue deck's going to run bounce more than it's going to run anything, which probably means Swiftfoot Boots. So we could use a bit of card draw. Doesn't look like we have any card draw in the artifact section of our deck. You know what? We're just going to go for Blackblade Reforged. Why not? Play Blackblade. Equip Blackblade? Does not have haste, sadly. But we'll keep sending this over to the Niv Mizzet. There's a Kodama's Reach for the Wort. And so one of the little things that I built into this deck is that we have this Blackblade Reforged. We have most of the green draw cards equal to the highest power creature you control cards in the deck, which means we can draw a lot of cards with this thing. Sadly, we don't have one of those cards yet, but like I said, the Niv Mizzet deck does run a lot of wheels, so we will get the chance to look at a lot of different cards. There's a Darksteel Plate for the Kazarov. Yep. Niv Mizzet, interestingly, had nothing to do on 4 mana. Very surprising. Yep, there's a Devastation Tide. Yep, that's going to hurt. That is going to hurt.
I feel pretty devastated.
But we can recast Nazahn at some point and get another equipment into play. He's going to lay down a Mox Diamond. Sure. So he's down to 2 cards in hand. I think that means the wheel's probably coming soon. Anything we want to keep, we're going to want to get out of our hand. Oh, there's that Soul's Majesty. Yeah, if everything stuck around, we would have been off the card draw city. So play the Soul Ring. Play the Thran Dynamo. Ooh, tough call right here. I'm actually going to wait on Nazahn. Having faced this Niv Mizzet deck a bunch of times, I kind of know the play patterns. When he goes down to 2 cards in hands like this, it either means he's going to cast Niv on his next turn and try to win, or he's going to wheel. Those are probably the 2 things that will happen. So, yeah, Nazahn's probably fine to go back to the command zone. So what we'll do right here, we'll get the Sigarda's Aid. Then we can actually cast Blackblade Reforged with, well, he's tapped out. Maybe now's the time to do it. Yeah, we'll just do it now. I suppose we could have did it during Kazarov's turn, but... and that way we can leave up the Swords to Plowshares just in case he has exactly like Niv Mizzet and... What's the 1-mana one? There's Curiosity and there's Ophidian Eye. I can't remember which one's which, but... they both end the game when they're on Niv Mizzet, so... We will pass like that. Rhythm of the Wild. Cool little card. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Very nice against the blue deck. And non-token creatures you control have Riot. Kazarov's gonna crack their Myriad Landscape. Sure. Urborg coming into play. One of the combos that I wanted to get into this deck, but I pulled out just for card spots, was the Urborg Karma combo. Because you can run Urborg in any color deck because it doesn't actually have any mana symbols in it. And then with Karma, everyone has a swamp and everyone loses lots of life. And as a Voltron deck, you should be able to gain life back pretty easily, especially one that can find Luxodon Warhammer right out of the library. So that's kind of the plan right there. And opponent caster Kazarov, it is into play. Okay, so here comes Niv Mizzet. See what else he's got in store for the turn. Gonna crack the fetch. It's going to preordain. How do I feel about that? Not too good. I think we just swords it right now. We'll get 1 additional draw trigger. He can ping something for 1. And if for some reason he does have a free counter spell, he'll probably use it right here. Which means that we should be able to get Nazahn into play, although I suppose with all that happening, he does draw more cards. This thing can just draw cards like crazy. So he lets it go. Goes back up to 36 life. That's good. Preordain. If for some reason we caught Boots off the top and we could get Nazahn haste, we could play the Boots, play the Nazahn, get Sword of Feast and Famine, get everything in, untap, and then play the Soul's Majesty, and that would be ridiculous. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Pariah Shield. Not the one we need at the moment, but actually, once... Ooh, yeah, maybe it is the one we need. Because once that's in play, then Niv Mizzet can't kill us. Although, they would draw their entire deck. They could get Bounce. Bounce would be an issue. But it does make it really difficult for them. But I think we're going to wait on that sequence of plays for just a moment and get our Nazahn back to play. So, Nazahn trigger. Yep, let's get the Swiftfoot Boots, try to get this thing protected. So, Boots into the hand. Play the Swiftfoot Boots. Sigarda's Aid triggers, they get the free equip. We will equip the Blackblade Reforged. Uh-oh, opponent's got reaction. Bird. Counter target activated ability. Draw a card. Sad face. So, send this over to the Niv Mizzet. They take 5 commander, go down to 31, and we will pass like that. So opponent plays a Wallop and says, destroy target blue or black creature with flying. That's a pretty narrow card. I think opponent's got some kind of theme here. I don't know what it is yet. Gilded Lotus coming down for the Kazarov, and a Solemn Simulacrum coming into play. We'll get to search for a land. There's a Gilded Drake. It's not stealing our thing, though. Also, we do have a homeward path, so we can switch things around if we need to. Yep, they're going to steal the Solemn Simulacrum. Torpor Orb. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. Yep, that's pretty good against our commander. Luckily, it's already in. And a Personal Tutor. Let's see what he's going for. Probably a wheel. He would have already played one if he has it, I assume. Means that we may not get a lot of mileage out of Soul's Majesty, if that's the case. Yep, goes for a Winds of Change. That's an interesting one, because that doesn't get him a lot of cards. Oh, there's a Windfall. Alright. So everyone will get to draw 6. Oh, that's getting Red Elemental blasted! Oh, wow. Windfall's not going to resolve. And now his hand's empty. That's basically the death sentence for that deck. Well, sort of. Once that deck runs out of cards, it's in trouble. I mean, at some point he can get his commander back and he will get a lot of card draw, but now there's no counterspells and we're free to go crazy. So get the Blackblade Reforged equipped. Play the Soul's Majesty. What do we draw? We have Worldly Tutor in our hand, which if he plays the Winds of Change, I don't know if he will or he won't. We can use that to get our Ameria Shepherd, and once we get Ameria Shepherd, life should be pretty good. Gonna play the Command Tower. Feel like we need both colors of mana. Gonna use the Homeward Path. Maybe we didn't need to use the Homeward Path. Since we don't have Trample right now, it's not really worth just getting chump blocked, so I think we're just gonna swing in the way of the Wort. So then we'll play the Sakura Tribe Elder and sit on the Worldly Tutor. We do need to discard. We can get rid of some stuff. We'll get rid of the Palisade Giant. A bit redundant with Protector of the Crown. Protector of the Crown can get us additional card draw, so I like that a little bit. We can discard a couple Forests, I think. That gives us 2 Plains in hand, puts us at 9 cards. Pariah Shield. Pariah Shield I'll probably look to get back with... and we'll get rid of the Helm of Obedience. Don't really have a need for that until we find the Rest in Peace, so... Ooh, Boiling Seas. That's going to destroy all islands. We're okay. So, Niv Mizzet, not really the threat anymore. They don't have cards and they don't have blue mana, so they in trouble. Gives us lots of time to set up and deal with other things. Opponent's going to Demon Fire X1 on us. That's interesting. Kazarov coming back to play. Darksteel Plate coming down. That's a pretty good one. So opponent assumingly trying to do the just play like red board wipes, things like that. Seems like the plan that they're on. So Niv Mizzet draws their card. It is a Winds of Change. Gilded Drake into the Wort opponent. Yeah, that seems like a the spite attack right there. So they get hit for 3, go down to 25. We're gonna end step Worldly Tutor, get this Ameria Shepherd. And this is kind of the big combo that I've been hoping to set up. Sakura Tribe Elder and Burnished Heart with Ameria Shepherd. We can do some pretty wild things. So we draw the Ameria Shepherd. Let's play the Ameria Shepherd. So Ameria Shepherd into play. Play the Plains. Get the first landfall trigger. Let us get the Burnished Heart. Send that to the battlefield. Since we didn't really catch any evasion of any kind... I think we're just going to take out the Wort opponent right here. They still have cards in hand. We've already got 12 commander on them. I think I'm going to wait till instant speed to start messing with the sack trigger. So they go down. Have a feeling like Kazarov will try to wipe the board this turn if they have it. Put the Darksteel Plate on the Kazarov, sure. Barrage of Boulders deals 1 damage to each creature you don't control. That is enough to kill our Sakura Tribe Elder. So I guess we sacrifice the Sakura Tribe Elder. Get a Plains. Looks like we've got about 5 or 6 left in the deck. Ooh, we can get the Palisade Giant. Yeah, let's get Palisade Giant. Forget all that damage nonsense. Opponent's gonna Doomblade our Ameria Shepherd. Okay. So that being the case, we're gonna crack our Burnished Heart. We get 2 Plains. Let's get the Shikari and Sakura Tribe Elder. Send that to the battlefield. Send that to the battlefield. Move the boots over to the Ameria Shepherd. So that will fizzle the Doomblade. Palisade Giant comes to the battlefield. And we don't have anything that's indestructible. So I guess we just let Palisade Giant take the hit right here. It gets 5 damage on it. Kazarov gets pumped up a little bit. Opponent's going to do 2 damage to the Palisade Giant. Guess that means we just move the boots over? Leona Chikari is a card that is usually like one of the last cuts that I make out of my equipment decks, but it's so good. Ooh, well played, opponent. Alright, so opponent's going to try to shoot our commander, which means... what does that mean? I guess it means send it to the graveyard. Yeah, send it to the graveyard. So the boots get equipped onto the Palisade Giant. Palisade Giant, the damage trigger will fizzle. Oh, hey, that's a Bajuka Bog. Oh, that's bad. Well, what last card do we want to get back? Survival is always tempting. Probably just our commander. Yeah. Sacrifice Sakura. Get a plains. Get our commander. Send it to the battlefield. Oh, Torpor Orb's in play. Sad face. And Bojuka Bog's going to get the exile on us. Very nice opponent. Very nice Bojuka Bog right there. We still got quite a bit of shenanigans off, but it would only get worse if we untap with all this stuff. We got a lot of lands out of that deal. What do we have? We have 9, 10, 11, 12 lands in play on turn 9 plus 2 mana rocks. That is pretty good. So, Mizzet catches a land off the top. They still in a bad place. Oh, right. I always forget that Nazahn has that thing that removes blockers. Ugh. I gotta stop forgetting about that ability. I would have attacked differently earlier in the game had I remembered that that was a thing. Well, I guess it's time to take out the old Mizzet. Might just save that plains. Play the Duelist Heritage. Equip the Blackblade Reforged. Attack the Mizzet. Duelist Heritage will trigger. Nazahn will trigger. And Mizzet goes down to commander damage. 39 commander damage. It leaves only the Kazarov opponent. What to do right here? I actually want to save that plains. I guess we're going to go Protector of the Crown because of the Monarch token. Seems like a good idea. So we become the Monarch. We get to draw a card at our end step. It is a Balin. Opponent's going to Anger of the Gods. That still just all goes to the Palisade Giant. We'll kill their Solemn Simulacrum. They'll get to draw a card. Kazarov gets a little bit bigger. It's fine. Oh no, the Giant gets exiled, I think. Yep, the Giant got exiled. Sad face. Still have Protector of the Crown. Yeah, I could have just fired the Teferis off right there. I think we're okay, though. Opponent's down to 1 creature. They're going to need more than 1 if they want to block. Opponent's going to Dreadbore on our commander. The Shikari's still in place, so I guess we just equip the boots. Oh, man, I got to start running the Shikari more. So good when you have Lightning Greaves or Swiftfoot boots. Opponent's going to try to ping us for 2. I think it's time we just Teferis. They can shoot one more time. Prefer to keep all my stuff right now. See if they try to shoot it one more time on the way out. I guess we can move the boots right here for now. And opponent scoops it up right there. They know it's coming since all our stuff phases back in and Nazahn taps down the creature when it attacks. The ability that I always forget about. Always forget about that line of text. A lot of words on Nazahn. But yeah, this is my Nazahn House Lannister deck. It's about as unfair as you can make a green and white equipment deck in my estimation. For example, we run the infinite mana combo for no reason other than just being unfair. We have the Helm of Obedience Rest in Peace combo for the same reason. Easy way to eliminate players. People get stuck trying to mess around with your commander, then you can set up those other plays. We have a Tooth and Nail to go get some of those creature combos we looked at. Avenger of Zendikar, because if we're getting a bunch of lands into play. Rampaging Balas, same thing. So a lot of the deck hinges around Ameria Shepherd, Sakura Tribe Elder, and Burnished Heart. Both all really, really cool combos. So yeah, it's a fun little green-white equipment build that doesn't necessarily play by the rules in the way that you would expect an equipment deck to do so. Now, the one issue with this deck is there is very little removal in this deck, so this deck does need more removal one way, shape, or form. It was kind of hard getting everything I wanted in there, so, you know, just that ate up a lot of deck slots, and I got to figure out exactly how many equipment synergy cards are needed versus how many ones are not needed, and that's kind of where the removal stuff would want to fall in. With things like Pariah Shield. So if you get Pariah Shield, then obviously you get Hammer of Nazahn. All the damage goes to your commander, and it has Indestructible. So that's a pretty good place to be. Very good against creature decks. So yeah, I've been enjoying some of these combos with Indestructible, Palisade Giant, and Protector of the Crown lately. They're pretty fun. And I mean, white does equipment well. So as long as you have the creature, it's really easy to find the equipment in a white deck. And white not known for being able to do unfair things, but it's pretty unfair. Like, you know, preventing all the damage that would be dealt to you is really good against a lot of decks. If there's a green deck at the table and they've already burnt that Krosan Grip and that Beast Within, and they're trying to do the Avenger of Zendikar and Crater Hoof thing, then, you know, they're going to need more than that because all that damage is getting prevented once the equipment's on there. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.